That's a 7. Yeah, you need to update yourself. Because now you see the real reality of what's been going on. Now you see the real reality of what's been going on. Why you think it's all good all the time. That was going on. All that crazy, all this controversy, all this stuff that Donald Trump is caught up in. All of that was going on while you thought it was all good. While you got people with MAGA hats, that part, 7. This was going on. While he was holding rallies, smiling in your face, all of that had already happened. All of that had already happened while he holding rallies after the fact. He's always holding rallies. Pretty sure he was holding rallies when all this stuff was going on. Pretty sure he held a rally after it went on. And yet you sit back so naive like everything's all good. So see, my whole point of telling you all that is, see, all of that evil was going on and you didn't know it. That's a 7. So now what we have here is premature judgments because of all of the evil that's been going on. That man put your community in harm's way. Well, people died, so because of him. Well, if he had a quicker response, we wouldn't be out of control. We wouldn't be number 1 for the highest level of COVID. Now you see why we are. That's a 7. We're the highest in COVID because Donald Trump chose to have a slow response to it for political reasons. You gotta follow me. So y'all dying because he intentionally put you in that situation. People have lost loved ones and we're losing people in this country at the rate that we are because Donald Trump had a slow response, an intentional slow response, so that he could get reelected, fix the storm, fix the virus, you sing his praises and reelect him. But it didn't work like that. It didn't work like that. And so now you're suffering on the level that you're suffering as far as COVID as a community because of Donald Trump's intentional slow response, which was evil. It was evil. He put you in harm's way, and you're still feeling the repercussions now. This is why you should be angry. You want the reasons. See, God knows what's going on. See, it's all coming out to you now, all the stuff that Trump did. But see, now you wonder why why people are so anti-America. You don't even know what's going on. You wonder why people is against this country because you don't know what's going on. You didn't know that stuff was going on with Trump that they talk about now, did you? You didn't know. Who are you holding on to say it's goodness still here in America? Who is that person that you're holding on to? There is no one there. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, who? Obama, he's not in office. So who are you holding on to as far as saying America is good? Who are you holding on to? The old yesterdays? The faded glory? The old glory? Now you see what I'm saying. And so now you see why people are becoming anti-America. Now you see why people are turning on America. They're not being traitors. Look at all this stuff that's coming out. You have COVID more than everybody else because of that. It don't even make sense. Why you got it more than everybody else? Because he put you in harm's way intentionally to get reelected. It's the only thing that makes sense. And now it explains why you have premature judgments. God knows things that you don't know and can't see. You can't see this stuff. You just now seeing what Donald Trump did. And you don't think no evil is going to come upon you for that? All this underhanded stuff. Oh, you didn't think it was evil, did you? Oh, okay. All that stuff that Donald Trump caught up in, you ain't think it was evil. All this stuff, these files and all these things, all this stuff that they're dealing with the rioting and all of that, him inciting a riot, I guess that's the way you put it. You don't think that's evil. It brought about repercussions. It brought about so many other spirits came in with that man in leadership. It's just like a piece of meat to the wolves. The evil is the meat. Soon as Donald Trump started doing evil, demons just swarmed in. That's all they needed was somebody like that. And then look what you got happen at January 6th last year. Now you see what I'm saying. Those demons just swarmed in to all the whole character of who Donald Trump was in the White House. They just swarmed in. You got COVID-19 in his presidency. Let's call it like it is. You had that, the January 6th, all of that happened. All kind of other stuff, all kind of shootings, all kind of crazy stuff, police shootings and all kind of stuff. Let's just look at it for what it is. That's why I tell you, when you don't have the best leader, spiritual repercussions come as well. So now you see why God would probably the Lord has me in alliance with Russia. Now you see why now. Make sense now to you? Make sense to you. Why you trying to demonize it? Now does it make sense? See, you out of pocket, not me. Yeah, you out of pocket. You way out of pocket. Because you can't even tell me why you still holding on to this country. Especially if you black. Why you still holding on to this country? It don't make sense. You just don't know where to go. Half of y'all just don't know where to go. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Russia never had African slavery. Russia never had a racist system against Africans. Russia, I never heard of having a significant amount of racist Russian police that's against Africans, shooting them down. I tell you that much. See, all you looking at is you eating and some money. And you ain't even got that no more. Well, they do this, they do that. Think that's all you thinking. That's all you thinking about. See, the problem with that is it's good until it don't matter no more. Until your country is so evil and out of whack that having money, you can't even enjoy it. Having food, you ain't even enjoying the food. That part. See, that's what's starting to happen now. You're not able to really enjoy it. You can have food, you can have money, but are you enjoying yourself? Are you enjoying your life? Are you enjoying your neighborhood? These neighborhoods are crazy now. These people doing all kind of psychological games. Don't think nobody know. Because they stupid. I can see through all of that. I've gotten respect just as a person from military. I know when I smell a rat. I know when I smell something that stinks. And if you do any kind of psychological stuff with me, I know you're doing it. That's how spiritual I am. I know what you're doing. But what you don't know, just like people didn't know about Donald Trump, all the evil you're doing is bringing it back on the country. You ain't getting away with it. I promise you that. You ain't getting away with that. You saw they got Donald Trump months later. We're going to get you months later too. That's a 7. Glory to Yahweh. That's what I'm saying. You're playing with complete fire and destruction. Playing the game, little okie doke, Winnie the Pooh, Dunkin' Donut, McDonald's games. Goofy characters, man. You some goofy people. That's why I separated from that. I haven't eaten McDonald's in a full year. From a full year, I haven't eaten McDonald's. See, what you got to remember, this is God's earth. It may be your world, but you didn't make the earth. That's a 7. This is God's earth. And he could take you out of it or take it away from you. If you want to go build your own world, then leave Earth, leave the galaxy, and go somewhere else. But while you're here, let me inform you that this is still God's earth. I don't care what's supposed to happen and what doesn't supposed to happen. All the time, this is God's earth. And don't you forget it. And now you know. Now y'all looking like suckers because you forgot that it's God's earth. While you steady building this world and thinking it's our world, you forgot that it's God's earth. He could send a flood. He did it before. He could do anything. You forgot the earth part. He could take oxygen, the imbalance, the oxygen or anything, and y'all all dead. What you gonna do then? Well, it was your world as far as the system, but it wasn't your earth. It wasn't your galaxy. And that's where you lost. And that's where you got arrogant. You go around, this is our world, this is our world. Yeah, but you forgot about it. It's not your earth. Meaning, you can't dictate and control what actually happens. If God wanted to do something to this earth, trust and believe, ain't nothing you can do about it. You forgot about the weather. While you worried about enemies in another place, you forgot about the weather. The weather can wipe all y'all out. Well, that's what the flood did. What the flood do? The first end of the world. That was the first end of the world. What did it do? It killed everybody. Just the flood. Just the weather. The rain. That's it. That's all that did it. And they were gone. You have underestimated what God can do with the earth. You have underestimated it. Yes, you have. Because you think you got this world in the earth, which to me, the world is the system that's in the earth. That's the world. You have a system in the earth, and you think that's going to keep you afloat. No pun intended. You think that's going to keep you afloat if God sent a flood. If God sent a flood or any destruction, it's over. And you can't predict that from day to day, from year to year. You don't know what's going to happen. And you're arrogant I don't care if you're a scientist. I don't care what you know. You didn't see COVID coming, did you? Yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? Uh-huh. And your system can do nothing about it, really. Not really. You can hand out vaccines, but the problem with that is everybody's not going to take the vaccine, which it means the world, it's already a means to an end by not accepting the people not accepting the vaccines, because as long as no one accepts, certain people don't accept it, as long as certain Americans don't accept it, from all different backgrounds, ethnicities, it's everywhere, military, police, a lot of them just not getting it. Okay, as long as that's the situation, y'all ain't coming out of COVID. I'm sorry to tell you, because all it takes is one person to spread it all over again. Well, let's do the history. It only took one bat to spread it, right? I know you ain't think about this. So why wouldn't it take one human being in America? I'm not the smartest man in the world, but if it only took one bat from China, then why couldn't it take one person with COVID to start it all over again here? Or somebody in the world. coming here. Besides this community, what about another community? Huh? One person come here with it and this starts all over again. One bat did it. Why one human being can't do it? Huh? So that's why I'm telling you, it's already the end. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your friends. Because there's no way you can tell me you're going to get rid of COVID when you got people that don't even want to be vaccinated. And all it takes is one person to spread it, just like the one bat, and it starts all over again. This madness started all over again. And it might be a different variant that makes it start all over, that we have no vaccine for. What about that part? See, this is already the end. God already decided. These are premature judgments. The sad part about it is that it did. I don't think it had to happen. That's the saddest part about it. It's just like the arrogance of these Americans, man. They should suffer. They should pay for it, man. And I'm believing God is going to expose them. Because you don't believe me, do you? You don't believe me that they started this. Because they were arrogant and they just did what they wanted to do. And premature judgments came and they suffered. Now, I think God would, as far as how, if Donald Trump would have had a fast response, but see, God is so magnificent, God knew he was going to do that. That's the seventh. God knew Donald Trump was going to do that. You know, I believe this was a judgment from God, a warning shot for the stuff that they was doing. And Donald Trump was exposed, even with that warning shot of judgment. His character was exposed and y'all didn't even see it. It was two birds with one stone. These Americans deserve to suffer, and Donald Trump's true character deserves to come out. That was established. Boom. Well, we see what he did. He had a slow response on COVID, and COVID came for these Americans that gang stalked God's people, God's prophets. Judgment came for them, and Donald Trump was exposed. Two birds with one stone. That's how great God is. And you can't blame nobody but yourself. You can't blame nobody but Donald Trump. Who are you going to blame? Me? You don't even know how much evil this man has done. You want me to tell you who your number one enemy is? Him. Donald Trump. That's why it's all happening to him. You see his karma? Do you see his karma? You need to wake up, man. They always paint in these evil pictures of people that they want to get rid of. You just now finding out who the real enemy is. Donald Trump been doing a lot of stuff, and it wouldn't surprise me if we found out something else he's been doing. I would not even be shocked. At this point, and that's all they talk about now. Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. And it amazes me how he even got in the White House. How he even get there? How did he even get in there? I mean, all the way. All the way. Now we see who's going to endorse him now, who would support him. Who's going to support that now? I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you though. These are premature judgments. This was not supposed to happen. This only happened because of the evils of your government and the evils of your community. These secret societies, the Illuminati, Freemasons going around gang stalking, they're part of the reason. Yeah, I couldn't leave them out because they were doing the gang stalking. Some of these Freemason police, yes, all across the country, gang stalking people, playing games. That particularly, hear me closely, That particularly is what brought these premature judgments. You can't run around like this is Tom and Jerry, like some cartoon. What's wrong with you? You forgot you live in a real world with real consequences and real karma? Reaping what you sow? You forgot about that? So the world, you don't nobody reaps what they sow anymore. That part, 7. That's a 7. Yeah, you're still reaping what you sow, buddy. That part, yeah. Now you waking up. People are reaping what they sowed. You ain't get away with that. Like I told you, you did not get away with it. That's why your country is toe up from the flow up, from the fro up. That's why you're getting what you're getting. God ain't playing with you. And all these people game stalking, eavesdropping, playing all these psychological games. All you're doing is bringing, I know what you're doing because I'm spiritual. I'm for real spiritual. And all you're doing is bringing more and more judgment, more and more premature judgment on your whole community. And that's why I'm praying God will reveal what you're doing to the right people so they'll take care of you. Because you're the problem. These Freemasons and these Illuminatis, these secret societies, whatever other ones out there, they're gang stalking coast to coast, California to Florida to New York. They're playing all these psychological games against innocent people, and they thought nothing would happen. What I think was, they thought they were going to play some innovative game. They thought this was innovative. They thought they was going to be like Rome and like the Colosseum, and they were gonna hunt the Christians and play games with the people of God. And it backfired, and they got COVID. I'm telling you, you better listen to me. Because see, a lot of y'all don't know what's going on. You know how they talk about having your ear to the streets? A lot of people don't have their ears to the streets. And if you don't have your ears to the streets, how can you say you know what's going on in the streets? If you don't have your ears to the streets, how can you be arrogant to say you know what's going on? And these wars matter to God. So God knows what God is in fighting it, and you ain't got your ears to the street. That's what's actually happening. A lot of y'all don't know about this gang stalking. You ain't got your ears to the streets. So you think we talking about conspiracies. You think I'm paranoid. You think I'm schizophrenic paranoid. You think I'm bipolar or something. You know why? Because you ain't got your ears to the streets. And if you don't have your ears or senses exposed to certain realities, then people will come off like they're crazy to you. Because you actually don't know what's going on. So here's the punchline. For all you Christians that are here in America, many of you, your walk of life that you live is so far removed from the streets, the real wars that's going on out here. When we start talking about this, you think you don't know what to think. Really, actually, you think that, oh, well, we could just pray it away, and we could just pray for these people. We could just get them saved. This is the wicked. This is the people that's going to die and go to hell. You know what the Bible says in Revelation 22:11? Let the clean stay clean. Let the unclean, the filthy stay filthy. That's for all you evangelists that like to evangelize everybody. The Bible says in Revelations 22:11, read it. Let the unclean, stay unclean. So how are you going to evangelize them and get them saved if the word of God says, let them stay unclean? That's a 7. So now you see the seasons have changed. The seasons are now. Let them stay like that. That's the enemy. Let them stay filthy. They want to be filthy, let them stay like that. I didn't make it up. The Bible said it. That's why I believe in the Bible. That's why I love it. Because it's real. It say let them stay like that. You ain't got to be evangelizing them, try to evangelize everybody. That time is closing, bro. That season is changing. You got the wicked that got to die. These people have to perish, bro. And they've been gang stalking your brothers and sisters, your Christian brothers and sisters, and you don't even know it. You half of you Christians are so far removed from the streets. Your ears ain't nowhere near the streets. You think they tripping. Well, do you really know that's happening? You sure that's happening? Maybe you need to pray for discernment. I don't need to pray for no discernment. I see it right there. Look, hey, I don't need no medicine. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I've seen enough of it to know what I'm talking about. See, one thing about real military wars and stuff. See, a military man would have more belief in this than you. You know why? Because military fights hidden wars. They fight hidden wars that most civilians are not even aware of. Same thing with the FBI. Same thing with the police. They're all familiar with fighting hidden wars, hidden crimes, and hidden evil. Okay? They're very familiar with it. They know how dark it can be, how evil it can be, how evil people can be. That's another thing. A lot of you Christians, that's really what I want to say. You don't even believe people could be this evil. Well, why would they want to do that? Because they're evil. That's why. And evil doesn't have a good explanation. Evil doesn't always have an explanation. And that's for the people on the streets. That's for you. Because what you say is, not the Christians, you, the people on the streets. Well, if that wasn't true, then why would they say that? Who would make that up? Evil people. Evil doesn't need an explanation all the time. And you going around, you've been saying that same cliche for 15, 20 years. Well, who would make that up? Why would somebody say something like that if it wasn't true? Because they're evil. That's why. And they don't need an explanation for being evil, do they? Which means there is no reason. Which means what they're saying has no truth in it or reality in it. It's just because they're evil. And you sitting up splitting hair. Well, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody say something like that if it wasn't true? Because they're evil. And you also are another one that don't believe people can be that evil. Well, why would they say that if it wasn't true? How many times you done heard people say that? I done heard people say that. Well, nobody would say that if it wasn't true. Well, you realize how naive that sounds? Well, they wouldn't say it if it wasn't true. People say stuff all the time, and it's not true. And their motives are to do evil. That's their motives. And evil doesn't need a reason. So when you saying, well, it got to be true because, what would be the reason for someone to say that? And it's not true because they're evil. You see the difference? You got to get that out your head too. Because even the streets be saying that. Well, it got to be some truth to it. Not if they're evil. Not if it's an evil person. If it's an evil person, it don't got to be no truth to it at all. It could be a total lie. And how I feel is if it's not all the information, it is a total lie. It's half truths, whole lies. Well, I tell you this part, but I ain't tell you that part. Then I'm lying, really. It's half truth, whole lies. You need all the information. And if you don't have it, then you've been played. That's basically what's going on. You've been manipulated and used by evil people to get to do vendettas, that got vendettas against a person. You don't know. You so naive. Oh, why would they just do that? They got vendettas. You don't know what happened between that person, them and that person. But you so naive. You talking about it gotta be some truth. That gotta be true. Why? Why it gotta be true? Why does it have to be true? Why? Because what you hear is so extreme? Well, that's the whole purpose of a lie. It's for usually if it's for defamation or or character assassination, it's going to be an extreme. It's going to be an extreme lie. And some of y'all cannot handle extreme lies. Well, I just believe that. Well, you haven't been exposed to extreme lies now, have you? You haven't been exposed to it. That's what I'm telling you. It's time for people to grow up. People make up whole lies, tell lies and everything. Got you running around looking crazy and stupid. Then you find out the person is a good person and you're in trouble. Now look at you. Now you question everything. And you've been played. You've been officially played as a community, as Americans. Concerning my life, the stuff you've been told, you've been totally played. You've been played. I'm telling you, I don't care who you are. I tell you, whoever it is. I tell the police you've been played. I tell military, any other officials, you have been played. If you listen to that stuff, you've been played, bro. And now you see why. Because I'm such a good person. I'm such a great person. It was envy and jealousy. Now that adds up, right? You see all the stuff I'm talking about? Donald Trump,